ElectronicExpress.com. We've got that.
Hi, I'm Michaela, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You found your dream engagement ring. As a jewelry consultant, I recommend to start shopping for your wedding band 6 months before your big day. Don't worry. At Shane Company, we're here to help you find the perfect bands. Our men's and women's bands are crafted to high-quality standards, and it shows in every detail, with a stylish design and comfortable fit. At Shane Company, we'll take care of your engagement ring and wedding bands for life, because a friend wants you to say, I do, to your rings again and again. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
In any work environment, culture is the most important thing. And what makes up the culture? The people. Hey, this is General Manager Sean Ford with Cromwell Media. This month, we want to highlight two individuals on our team. Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer and 102.5 The Game host Derek Mason celebrates another year with us here. And 102.9 The Buzz on-air personality Andy Herron celebrates 12 years. And when you can't hear him on air on The Buzz, that's because he's on tour with Gin Blossoms playing them drums. Go get him, Andy. If you're looking for a new career, give us a shout. Together at cromwellmedia.com. Love what you do. Love where you work.
I'm Emmett Smith. Be ready to rescue someone in an opioid emergency. Lay them on their back, use Narcan nasal spray as directed, and dial 911. Stay and continue to administer additional doses as needed. Visit readytorescue.com.
Live on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
This is Nick Frazier. We start in the NBA where LeBron James has made it what he is calling his last decision, agreeing on a 2-year, $8 million contract with the Philadelphia 76ers, including a player option in the 2-year deal. It's a significant pay cut compared to previous deals, but James says the move isn't about money. It's about chasing one final championship. After considering retirement, the 41-year-old decided he still has the passion to compete and believes Philadelphia is the team that gives him the best chance to add his 5th NBA title alongside Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown. Meanwhile, in the NFL, the Tennessee Titans have officially opened up rookie training camp, giving first-year players their opportunity to impress the coaching staff. The next major date is July 28th, where the veterans report as the full roster comes together and prepares for the upcoming 2026 season.
For more, log on to theGameNashville.com. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
35 years of the best sports talk in Nashville. It's the George Plaster Show with Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame quarterback Kelly Holcomb and young gun Lewis Maddox. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It is a Friday, and for that, I am very excited. I'm moving around here trying to get right where the deal needs to be. Why am I still hearing music? Are we on or not?
Yeah,
if we are,
we're on.
Turn off the music. Okay, there. Thank you to Van Halen. We welcome all of you in on this Friday where we got a huge crowd here at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. I have no idea the specifics of the tournament. I just know there are a ton of people here.
It's hard to park today.
Yeah, it's good to see. Kelly, as many of you know, is a Friday snob, not available, not with us. You know what? It's his loss. We got a great show for you today. In a few minutes, you will hear from David Epps. David runs the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, and he runs their sports council. He replaces a guy that I think was a visionary in the sports world, Gary Stokan. Very interesting stuff. If you care about sports, you're going to want to hear it. At 4 o'clock, my buddy Jay Grider worked for the Nashville Sports Council for over 30 years, has written a book about our city and sports that I think is going to be really interesting. I think you'll enjoy what he has to say. Man on the Street around 4:20. some new news you can use as our show expands, and we'll open the phones around 4:25. How's that?
Packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LeBron
James.
Yeah. We have an update.
Oh, and I'm Lewis, by the way.
Yes, you are.
Thanks,
Lewis
George.
Maddox. You're welcome. You're welcome. What did you want me to call you?
Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's fine. Let's go
So
with me.
did you notice, I know I'm stealing your little thunder here
You are.
on
Yeah.
your update. Did you notice that he signed a 2-year deal?
Yes.
So
2-year deal with a player option for a third.
okay. Do you remember a caller who said, and I think it was Tyron from Brentwood, who said LeBron is trying to pull a Tom Brady? And you know what? I think that's exactly what he's trying to do.
In what sense?
I think he wants to play into his mid-40s
Well, I mean,
and pull kind of a Tom Brady.
at the end of this 2-year thing, he'd be 43, pushing 44.
Right.
Then he'd be pushing 45, which Tom Brady was at the end of his career, if he takes that player option to come back after the deal is done.
I think there's something to it. Let
Think
me
he's trying to
also,
prove a point there?
I don't know.
Think he's trying to one-up Tom Brady?
I don't know about one-up him, but maybe one-up Michael Jordan, who was not playing at this level at the end of his great career.
No, he was not.
Tomorrow, I am excited to be emceeing the 16th annual Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame induction ceremony for people in our area, our listening area, Nashville, Middle Tennessee. Pete Weber will be inducted. The truth of it is, it would have happened 3-4 years ago, but he was on the board of the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame, and that's why it's taken as long as it has. The late Mark Howard, one of the all-time great sports people. You didn't want to get into a trivia contest with Mark.
He was great.
And then a guy who's we lost way too early, WSM morning show host Bill Cody, passed away 2-3 weeks ago. He had already been, before we ever knew how serious his situation was, we had already made the decision that he was going in. And this was not some sympathy vote. This guy earned this thing, probably should have been in before now. If you would like to come to the ceremony, tickets will be available at the door at BGA, Battleground Academy, at the Entrepreneurial Center. It's that simple. You'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I had a little trouble finding it last year.
Oh, you know what? Quit being a wuss.
Well, let me give you some details about the LeBron deal.
Please do.
It is 2 years, $8 million for those 2 years, so $4 million per year, and that is the veteran minimum in the NBA.
Which means that he was just simply trying to get a deal done.
But the way he's put it is that it's all due to winning. He wants to go win.
Yeah.
He wants to go win another title.
Sure, I think he does.
And, why wouldn't he? But, yeah, $4 million a year. So the starting 76ers lineup projected now looks like this. Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James. The odds for the Sixers to get LeBron were once at 50-1 on some sites. They were the complete long shot in this whole deal, and they ended up getting him. Philly's title odds before the Jaylen Brown trade, they were at plus 7,000 to win the 26-27 NBA title. Now, after signing LeBron, they're at plus 1,000. So they went from the 19th best odds to the 4th best odds behind the Knicks, Spurs, and Thunder in that order.
Look, let's cut the crap here. As good as Jaylen Brown is and as legendary as LeBron James is, if the 76ers are going to win a world title, Joel Embiid must stay healthy. Not for half the season, the whole enchilada. Now, that may mean that they have to sort of, play him in spurts, give him a game or two off, because injury prone has Joel Embiid's picture on it. But when he is right, he's a stud.
Yep. I mean, that roster, everybody playing to their potential, that should be the best title odds, the best roster in the National Basketball Association. But I think because of that fact, they don't go up as far as they probably should have or would have.
Two teams that may have something to say about all this, the Bucks and the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, you're right. But 19th to 4th after those two additions.
I bet suddenly Philly gets on TV a lot. What do y'all think?
Yeah, probably. They're going to be playing a lot of games on national television.
Book your Christmas Day in Philly.
But now Adam Silver can create his NBA schedule.
Yeah.
I guess for, events and holiday games. And
God forbid we keep them waiting.
Right. Yeah, so we'll move on. LeBron, that's finally put to rest. He's officially a 76er. Move on to some Titans. Titans today placed J.C. Latham and Amani Hooker on the physically unable to perform list. So before they're even in the building, we're already injured.
I do not take that as good news.
I do not either. Ronald Acuna, on the other hand, could potentially return from the injured list Friday versus the Orioles. George, do you think that will happen?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they have known for 3-4 days that this is the way it was going to play out. God knows their lineup needs the dangerous Acuna, the one that gets on base, the one that puts a jolt in their lineup, because they need it. The other thing they need the real Austin Riley.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, Acuna is never going to hurt you when you insert him
maybe
into
a
your
starting
lineup.
pitcher or two to
That's what I was
go into the
thinking.
7th inning.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
NFL training camps are underway. The Cardinals, Panthers, Patriots, and Seahawks, their full rosters are in the building and practicing in training camp. All other teams in the National Football League will be starting their training camps by Tuesday of next week.
We may have a football announcement next week.
I hope we do.
Yeah, I hope we do too.
So we covered a couple of days ago on Wednesday the addition of David Gabriel Georges that committed to Tennessee.
Hold on, I want to try to say this. David Gabriel Georges.
There you go.
Hey, yeah.
Not gorgeous.
No, well,
even though he is gorgeous
I'm
in
sure
the Tennessee orange.
people think he is.
That addition caused Tennessee's 2027 recruiting class, according to 247's rankings, they jumped from 30th in the country in their 2027 class to 24. One player, they jumped 6 teams.
Now, remember, the ranking in the high school senior world doesn't mean nearly what it used to.
This is true.
Because you got so many transfers. It's the combination of the transfer portal and your high school signings that now matter.
Patrick Kane is returning to the Chicago Blackhawks, 2-year deal, annual average salary of $8 million.
The Blackhawks really wanted this. Connor Bedard really wanted this. I hope it works out up to a point. I say up to a point because it'd be a nice end of his career.
Yep.
But screw it. I'm a Predator fan.
You're right. He did, he is 37 years old now, 2-year deal. He'll be close to 40 at the end of this thing. But he was a first-round pick by the Blackhawks in 2007, won 3 titles with them. So big deal for Chicago Landia. Michael Kim today shot a 59 in the second round of the 3M Open. He birdied 12 holes in the second round, and it's the 16th sub-60 card round in PGA Tour history.
I had a sub-60 round as well recently for the 9 holes that we played.
Moving on, Diego Pavia landing spots. Okay, this is funny. I saw a USA Today article this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of is putting 4 different leagues as to where Diego could land. So the NFL, obviously, the UFL, which I think is a really good option now, too, for players like him, the CFL, which we talked about yesterday, and this article said the WWE. I think makes a whole lot of sense.
Some friends of mine who know him say that will be intriguing to him. First of all, he's not very tall, but he's built like a damn a tank.
Yeah, he's got some weight on him for sure.
Yeah.
And
am I right? He was a wrestler in high school.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. So it translates well, his personality, that fact too. The International Olympics Committee is not going to investigate Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, over Donald Trump interference allegations. The FIFA president had allegations claiming that he breached Olympic rules on political neutrality in his dealings with President Trump during the World Cup, but they're not going to investigate him. I sense somebody got the checkbook out there.
Excuse me?
Somebody got the checkbook out there.
Wow.
You don't think so?
No,
they're just throwing their hands up and saying, "No, we're not going to mess."
How old are you?
22.
So cynical. At such a tender age.
Okay. The NCAA Division I board says they have no plans to change the age-based eligibility rules. The cabinet approved that new rule last month.
What does that mean?
So basically, the players that have taken the NCAA to court claiming that they are losing out on more eligibility in college due to any number of reasons, playing in football that's not the NCAA, stuff like that, they're not changing the rule. So pretty much they're standing firm on they're going to take these guys to court and they're going to continue to fight it. Also, out of the NCAA, some more news out of that, there will be no legal vote on the college sports bill before August, which pretty much means that this thing's not going to get fixed this summer or before the season.
Well, okay, but did you really think it would?
No, but that confirmed it this morning.
Yeah.
Before August, though. That's what they said. Won't get voted on before August.
Here's where a little bit of my cynicism comes in. We acted like, that deal that the judge, ultimately approved would fix everything. It hadn't fixed squat. Basically, it said, okay, schools, you can only spend so much, but your J.R. Ewing wannabes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, your J.R. Ewing wannabes can write a check, big check.
I mean, DGG just got over $1 million. Full contract.
At least.
Yeah, it's not public knowledge, but.
And never will be. And that's the thing we don't know is anybody maybe fudging or overestimating what these schools are spending? I don't know. And I don't think there's any way to know, but I'd love to know.
I would love to know too.
We all would.
Last piece of the update, George, and this is kind of just a funny one. A Red Sox minor league player, he hit a home run last night in a minor league game, trots around the bases, comes home, gets in a little bit of an altercation with the opposing catcher. They exchanged some words. He slapped him in the face. Bench is cleared. They got separated.
He slapped him?
Yeah, like slapped his helmet off. There is his mask, his catcher's mask.
Is there a way to show us that?
Not
really.
Quickly.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, we done?
We're done.
The update is complete. It's a Friday in July, and you may be saying to yourself, man, it's going to be a slow, boring show. Wrong. When we come back, the man who runs the Atlanta Sports Council and the Peach Bowl, David Epps, who is replacing the legendary, visionary Gary Stokan, who had become a really good friend over the years. Anyway, David's going to join us. We're going to talk a bunch of stuff. College football playoff, World Cup, duties down there. And then at 4 o'clock, Jay Grider, longtime Nashville Sports Council employee, has written a book about Nashville sports. And I think you're going to want to hear all this. Man on the Street around 4:20. We'll open the phones around 4:25 on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
If you are struggling with back pain, neck pain, or stubborn nerve pain that hasn't responded to the usual medications or injections, listen closely. At the Dr. Gill Center, we help patients discover why they hurt and how to find relief without surgery. We are Middle Tennessee's leaders in back pain treatment and non-surgical spinal decompression, a gentle advanced technology designed to reduce pressure on the spine, restore space between discs, and help the body heal naturally. Our patients aren't just looking for another temporary fix. They want expertise. They want options they haven't been offered. They want a team that actually listens. And that's exactly what you'll find at the Dr. Gill Center. If you've been told there's nothing else to try or surgery is next, it's time for a different approach. Call 615-882-4838 or visit callmepainfree.com to schedule a comprehensive evaluation and see if non-surgical spinal decompression is right for you. Make 2026 the year you get out of pain. Call 615-882-4838 today.
I trained my entire life to be the best. I was one of the fastest women in the entire country. But woke politics made me swim against a man, sharing the pool and the locker room. That's not just dangerous, it's degrading. Thank God for Marsha Blackburn. No one fights harder to protect us. Marsha Blackburn will always stand for strong women, because she's one of us.
I'm Marsha Blackburn, and I approve this message.
We welcome all of you back to our continuing coverage of SEC football media days. I want to say for the last 10 to 15 years, I have interviewed Gary Stokan, who ran the Atlanta Sports Council, and those were some incredibly raucous interviews. And he loved the action of what it was he did. Now, stepping into that job with big shoes to fill is David Epps. David, I got to ask this, being a smart aleck, can he truly stay retired?
Well, that's the $64,000 question, and we're going to rely on his 4 grandkids and his beautiful dock out at Lake Oconee to do most of the heavy lifting for him.
That's your best shot. So
that's our best shot.
So you've walked into this. You're no stranger to this at all. But all of a sudden, you're coming off a World Cup in Atlanta that you all have been involved in. Tell the people in our listening audience what that's been like.
I'll tell you what, it's been fantastic for Atlanta, and there's some sports organizations in Atlanta that put together that host committee, led by the Atlanta Sports Council and the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Mercedes-Benz. I mean, Atlanta Stadium, because FIFA doesn't allow you to use the actual title sponsor's name. It's been great for Atlanta. You know, I've been in Atlanta my whole life. I was here in '96 when we had the Olympic Games, and it is not to that level, but it has been something the city has rallied behind, the business community has rallied behind, and then all of us who appreciate the sports business of Atlanta have also really rallied behind. It's been a great experience.
So when you're putting 77,000 in there for the World Cup games, how many of them would you estimate are outside of the Atlanta, market?
I'm only guessing as a fan. I went to 3 matches, and the farther into the tournament you went, the more actual fans and supporters were there. From what I understand, a lot of the attendees, there were some international travelers, but obviously we have so many expats from these countries around the world who live in the U.S. and in Atlanta that there were plenty of, we'll just call them domestic international fans who were finally had a chance to come see their team on this stage.
They spend money, don't they?
Oh boy, do they. And they, when you consider how spread out the World Cup was all around the Americas, to follow your team that whole run, you probably had to mortgage a house to make that happen.
So over the years, you guys have put together, with the help of Mercedes-Benz, some really good college football, in particular the opening weekend of the season. This year, you've got Baylor and Auburn. Can you fill it with that matchup?
It's going to be awfully close. Obviously, it's a little bit of a haul for Baylor, and they don't have the biggest fan base or alumni base, but you can jokingly say Auburn's really like a suburb of Atlanta. So it's a really easy trip for their fans, and they've got a great renewed sense of optimism around that program. I think Coach Golish coming in there, bringing Byron Brown with him. They have had a great portal in recruiting. So let's say it'll feel a lot more like a Auburn home game than it will a Baylor home game.
No doubt about that.
Yes.
That we can take that's a book it.
That's right.
Tell me about what the whole college football playoff, the games that have been in Atlanta have been like. And someday after we get the Dome Stadium finished up here, what's it going to feel like?
I'm a college football purist, just having grown up around the game. But I will tell you, it's having a state-of-the-art stadium, which you guys will have. It changes the game for the coaches and the players because the building has anticipated all of the issues that those guys have faced through 30, 40, 50 years of doing this. And I guarantee you the guys in Nashville have had plenty of conversations with our guys at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the guys at AT&T Stadium. So that's the first thing, is the building just works better for everybody involved. Usually for fans, it works better. It's easier to get in, easier to get out, and the little touches that you're going to have that you don't even realize you're going to have, that's what's really going to elevate the experience. And, the Georgia Dome, when we knocked that sucker down, it was still an amazing and beautiful building in 2016. We didn't realize how much better it could get until we got Mercedes-Benz Stadium online in 2017.
And it has. the SEC football title game, it's a spectacle. I've been as a media person, I've been as a spectator. David, what is the secret sauce that has linked that stadium to that event?
I think it's the fact that Atlanta, sort of as the capital of the New South, so to speak, has so many huge fan bases from so many ACC and SEC schools specifically, that a lot of these schools have repetitions in the building, and the fans get those repetitions, and it starts to feel like a home stadium in a lot of ways. So, you know, if I'm an Alabama fan, or if I'm a Tennessee fan, or an Auburn fan, I've been there before, and it feels a little bit like home. And there have also been some real seminal moments that have happened, especially in that SEC championship game, that become part of the lore of a team's program. And when that happens, I think it just sort of elevates it to be part of the culture that you can never pull out of it.
You know, I'm going to ask you to speculate here, which may be a little dangerous, but we both know the talk about, you know, conference title games with the playoff no longer need to happen. Do you see a scenario where the SEC football title game becomes a doubleheader? This is the Plaster vision. 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5, in the belief that 1 and 2 are already in.
I know this time last year there was a lot of discussion about that potential. I'm like you. I'm just as a fan looking at that. It sounds pretty appealing as an event organizer and a sports organizer, and then maybe looking at it from coaches' perspectives. It feels like a pretty tough thing to pull off, especially if the conference commissioners can get the system to a point where they feel comfortable that they've got an automatic qualifier or two, and they can get a bunch of teams in without having to put them through another week of potentially getting injured or knocking them out of a position to be in the playoff.
Lewis, take it from there.
Yeah, David, I kind of wanted to ask you about you coming into this position. Obviously, Gary was in it for a very long time. I mean, how do you walk into and first of all, what did it feel like to go and walk into that room as the CEO for the first time? But how do you honor all those years and his legacy, but at the same time, you probably want to put your own stamp on things as well?
David, I'm laughing, and I'm sorry to be doing this, but you know how he was. The hands would be moving and he loved the interview settings.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you this. I started as an intern in 1994, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't love what we do and just love the impact we can make. And that's the greatest thing about the job. If you had asked 15-year-old me if I would be sitting in the CEO chair of a college football playoff bowl game, I probably would have smacked you and wondered what had you have a head injury or something. But it's a dream come true for me. And, you know, you certainly want to put your own stamp on things. I'm also not a change just for change's sake. You know, the good news is we're not an organization that's broken in any way. We've been trending in a positive direction for a long time. And I like to say the floor isn't broken. So we don't need to fix the floor. We just need to raise the ceiling. And that just means continuing to invest in our community, making sure we serve the needs of the college football playoff and what college football postseason needs. And then looking for opportunities to continue to grow our brand and make more of an impact in the Atlanta community, which is really what we were created for.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I mean, you've been a part of every major milestone in this game, but I mean, look ahead to the next 10 years. What's your vision for the next decade?
Well, I alluded to it a minute ago, and what I think is really important is 6 years from now, we're going to be having a similar conversation. What's the playoff going to look like? Are bowls going to still be a part of it? et cetera, et cetera. So my vision is we need to so far exceed expectations of what the CFP and the conference commissioners have of us that when they look at the next iteration of postseason college football, they say to themselves, we can't exclude the Peach Bowl in Atlanta from this. They've got to be a part of it. And I think the way we do that is just to continue doing what we've done, be flexible, because if there's one thing we've learned about college football, it's that change is ever present and it's going to continue. So we're going to think bigger than we have, but make sure that we don't lose what's gotten us here to begin with. Because that's the real key. I mean, we are a college football playoff bowl game, and we got to make sure that what really matters and that's delivering when it comes time to putting on that game every year.
And David, last thing for me, maybe what's one misconception about what you do behind the scenes for this to all take place? And then, just maybe an aspect of the bowl game itself that people don't see on the forefront that would surprise some people.
Yeah, it's a great question, because whenever I got this job in 1994, 95, my wife always joked with her friends. They'd say, well, what the heck does he do the other 364 days of the year? They go,
Right.
does he just sit around and read the sports page all day? So that's been our joke. I just read the sports page for a living. But the big surprise is how much of a relationship business this really is. And the fact that we're selling tickets 364 days a year, and we're selling sponsorships all year round. We're looking for ways to impact our community. So it doesn't slow down just because of and that surprises people. They figure you have the game and then you sort of go into hibernation for 6 months until the season starts up again. And it really doesn't. It peaks and valleys, but it never really slows down enough. Look, you guys talk about college football probably every day of the year, and we're no different. Our version of it is just not who's going to make the playoff. It's looking at what our dates are going to be and doing hotel contracts and making sure we've got good relationships with athletic directors and coaches and commissioners. So you would never know how labor intensive it is unless you did it. And maybe that's a good thing, because I don't want anybody else coming after my job.
There you go.
That's a great answer. David, you got to do one thing for me. I may well be Nashville's biggest Atlanta Braves fan. Can you get us a starting pitcher?
Boy, I tell you what, as a native Atlantan, I grew up with some of those really bad Braves teams, and I love my Braves. And it's time post All-Star game to right the ship and get everybody pulling in the right direction. So I'm still optimistic. I'm going to stay optimistic.
So am I, but I'm a little worried. As a caller said, do you see the Phillies in your rear view mirror? And I gave him a hell yeah, I see them.
Yeah, they're not in the rear view anymore. They're right over there in the next lane.
I know it. And the crazy thing, Don Mattingly, their manager, was on the first Sounds team that I ever broadcast in the early 80s. And right now I hate him. Public enemy number one. Hey, thank you for doing this. If you see Gary, give him my best and tell him I don't believe he'll stay retired.
We will absolutely do that. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, when the Milwaukee Braves moved to Atlanta, when the decision was made in '65 that they would move down there, Atlanta Stadium was built for $18 million. Now you couldn't buy a bathroom for that amount of money in these stadiums. But then when that happened, that really was the first time in the South that there was such a thing as professional sports. And now you've got cities in Florida that have sort of had this happen. Charlotte, now Nashville, and Atlanta was sort of the forerunner of all of it. And now here we are, and we're knocking on the door of a lot of big-time things coming here. It's pretty exciting.
Sure are.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, it's exploding. I mean, I want to talk to Jay Grider more about this. Take us into what's going on in Nashville. I mean, the bidding when it comes to stuff like a Final Four or a college football playoff game or another Super Bowl or the Olympics even. So, I feel like all that is on the table in the next decade for this city, and it's the same way in Atlanta.
When I found out that Jay Grider, longtime member of the Nashville Sports Council, had written a book, my first reaction was, dadgum, I wish Rick Region were alive for me to tell him this, because Jay and I have shared a lot of laughter over our dealings with Rick over the years. The truth of it is, as the Sports Council in Nashville was building up and events were starting to come, Rick was the one really introducing me to a lot of the movers and shakers of what was going on in the early 90s. I can't wait to find out more about the book. But first, when we come back, I think I've got this right. We're going to show you film footage of the player slapping the catcher and what happened after that. Those of you on radio, you're going to have to use your imagination.
You'll hear it.
You will hear it on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Baseball is just like music. You don't believe me? Let me show you. It's jazz, improvised and unpredictable. It's rock. The crowd explodes like a guitar through a wall of amps. It's rap, fast, sharp, all rhythm and timing. It's country, nothing but 3 outs and the truth. Do you believe me now? Look, no matter what music you're into, the hottest track in town, Nashville Sounds Baseball. Welcome to Hit City.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a race and sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall.
Get ready, Clarksville. The Arena Football One postseason is officially coming home to F&M Bank Arena. Your Cats have secured the top seed and are locked in to hunt down the championship. High stakes, fast-paced arena football playoff action. The number 1 seed Cats are taking on the competition, and they need you to throw your claws up and pack the stands. Don't miss the AF1 playoff game on Sunday, August 2nd at 3 p.m. Tickets are selling fast. Go to Ticketmaster.com or myfmbankarena.com to secure your seats today. Let's bring the crown to Clarksville.
You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you.
Liberals don't get it, but it's pretty obvious. Their policies are messed up. That's why pro-Trump conservative Johnny Garrett spearheaded legislation banning men from playing girls' sports. Garrett's a married father of 3 and endorsed by Riley Gaines. Garrett will protect girls' sports and stop the radical left pushing sex changes for minors. We need more Tennessee in D.C., and Trump needs an ally. Vote conservative Johnny Garrett for Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, and I approve this message.
Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girls' sports. No to communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
You're listening to 94.9 The Fan.
Is that one of the Rocky tunes?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So I happened to see a couple of minutes. I think it was on AMC a couple of nights ago, Rocky 4, which may be a couple of Rockies too many. But in this one, they're over in the Soviet Union where Drago. Yeah, go ahead, turn it up.
Rocky 4 is the one, man.
Okay, I think we got it. So that's where Drago I break you. Well, I got news for old Drago. Suck on an egg.
Yeah, didn't work out too well.
Really didn't. Okay, so set up what it is people who are watching this by way of podcast are about to see.
Okay, so pretty much, I don't even know the guy's name, but it's a minor league player in the Red Sox organization. I don't even know if it was AA or AAA. So it was
Who cares?
It was this fuzzy broadcast of this game, and this dude is like 6'5", 250. He's a monster, and he rakes one, trots around the bases. He comes in. The catcher says something to him. They exchange words, and he quite literally smacked his catcher's mask off of his head. Bench is cleared. Nothing really happened after that. He did try to come back out of the dugout once he was carried away by a coach, his own coach. He tried to come back out because apparently somebody said something else to him.
So our apologies to those of you listening on radio. You're going to have to use your imagination. But for the podcast viewers, here is bonus coverage.
And a high drive, deep left field. This ball is gone. And Justin Gonzalez unloads another one. His 13th home run.
Oh, we got a little dust up going.
Yeah, look out. Gonzalez threw a punch.
Honestly, a little disappointed that we don't see more of that because of this let the kids play thing, guys admiring home runs. It used to be this is what happened. Call me old and out of touch if you want to. As we saw more of that, we'd see less of the other stuff. Gonzalez threw that open hand slap, but he hit his teammate and knocked the batting helmet off. I believe it was Yolan Cespedes who was in there trying to keep him away. They're still having difficulty keeping Gonzalez away.
Yeah, and again, he's 6'5", 260, big man. Got to get him into the dugout.
Gonzalez has been tossed. They've also tossed the pitcher Jabril Easley. They've also thrown out the catcher Cal Stark.
Oh, it's
Okay.
Cal Stark.
So-
he played in Tennessee. It was the catcher's face mask was like turned sideways on his head from the smack, and then he hit his own teammate and knocked his helmet off.
So kind of the rule, the sort of the unwritten rule in baseball is when you hit one a mile, you don't stand there and just admire. I can remember Brian McCann, who I absolutely loved as a Brave. Somebody from Milwaukee hit a homer and did the whole pose and stand there and blah, blah, blah. And when he got to home plate, Brian McCann went off. And for that, I will always be a Brian McCann fan.
Yeah,
It's the fact he was a hell of a player.
I guess I didn't hear them say that Cal Stark was a catcher at Tennessee. So I think he's the one that got smacked and started this whole thing.
Well, isn't that special?
I loved Cal.
Yeah.
I would have maybe approached that a little differently if I had known that.
Yeah. You mean it would have gotten into the update?
It might not have.
Not have? Okay, well, that's
Got to
nice.
keep the Big Orange name clean.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so a day later, now that the David Gabriel Georges.
No, George. We were corrected
Really?
by Heather Perry. So he's from Quebec, Canada, but he's French. So I think that the S is silent, even though everybody calls him David Gabriel Georges. I think it's David Gabriel George.
Okay. So now that this is official, what all are you hearing from up there?
I mean, I haven't heard a whole lot outside of him being a Tennessee Volunteer. I mean, we kind of speculated on the show when it happened and there were reports of this too, that this was going to be like a $2 million or close to it or over that number type of deal for this guy. But now you kind of hear some reports that it's more around $1 million. Either way, this guy is now the highest paid college football running back in the history of the sport, which is absolutely insane. And I mean, and I talked about that in the update too. Him signing with Tennessee jumps Tennessee 6 spots in the 2027 recruiting class rankings and into the top 25. They go from 30 to 24. So, I mean, $1 million is worth it. We know that Tennessee has paid quarterbacks upwards of $2 million in the past.
Don't you think this is more than $1 million?
I do. But that's the bad part about this whole system is that you really don't know. And we probably won't know exactly how much he's getting paid. So either way, I'm not the one paying it. You're not the one paying it. Ball Nation is kind of the ones that shove a little money in there too. But the thing is, we got him, and I think that to me, that's all that matters.
Well, here's sort of what I guess I'm curious about. Okay. Years ago, the single craziest story I think I've ever been a part of in sports talk radio was Ron Mercer not ending up at Vandy with his teammate Drew Maddox. And the speculation was, boy, if they get Ron Mercer, there are going to be one or two more that are like, I want to play with this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Jared Curtis, considered the number one quarterback in this recruiting class that we've just ended. Okay. I don't know the answer, but I do wonder, okay, when he made that decision, did it have anybody flip and say, I want to play with him? Now that David Gabriel George has chosen Tennessee, does anybody flip from somewhere to Tennessee just simply because of him?
I mean, if you're going into the mind of a football player, you would want to think that those guys are thinking that are getting recruited or thinking, sure, yeah, this gives me an opportunity to go play with the best running back in the country, along with a 5-star quarterback and a 5-star wide receiver with a 5-star left tackle, all on the same roster on the same offense. I mean, you would think that a football player that's thinking about football would hear that and want to go play football with those guys. But the thing is that we're talking about millions of dollars now, George. Like, if the money's not there, I think it's like 50-50. These guys are like, you've got to have both the pieces of the puzzle. You want to go play for this team, but you also want to make the money, which is fair, but it's kind of upsetting as a college football fan to hear stuff like that.
What do you think is the percentage of kids, because they're closer to your age than they are mine? What do you think is the percentage of these kids in the college football world that money is the number one importance and, frankly, the only importance?
It's got to be up around 70-75%.
Yeah.
Or that's the main factor. If you're that highly touted of a player,
I
that's got
think
to be
I'm
the number one
almost
factor.
asking, is it the only factor? I mean,
If
I would
it is,
hope
it's a
it
sad
isn't.
reality.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's kind of a sad commentary if that's true. Do I think it? Do I think most of the kids right now, money is the only thing? Yeah, I do.
And we just got a comment on the streamline that said, do you remember Inky Johnson? Absolutely, I remember Inky Johnson, one of the great Tennessee Volunteers of all time, and continues to advocate for the university. There's not a whole lot of guys like that anymore, and I guarantee if Inky played in today's game, he'd be one of those 20% that's not the main factor, which is sad because you really don't see a whole lot of that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue. I mean, it's going to continue to trend that way, that kids are only thinking about the price tag of themselves.
Yeah, which is sad.
It is.
I can't wait when we get into the 4:00 hour. Jay Grider has so much background when it comes to Nashville and the evolution of sports. He's going to join us at the start of the 4:00 hour. He has written a book that's going to get into all of this, and I can't wait to talk to him. So let's go back to SEC football media days for a minute. I was taken aback by Sankey and the whole we might secede from the union. I think it's garbage. I don't think that anybody is going to go for it. And I don't know why they continue to talk about it. But what stood out for you this week?
What stood out to me is that Greg Sankey said a lot of different words, or a lot of the same stuff, but different ways to confuse a lot of people. And I think that's what he does. And I think he does it on purpose. I mean, I really don't think that this thing is going to happen, but a lot of people do think that it's going to happen. And then you got to think about the backside of that. And if it does happen, what happens to the rest of college football? What does the Big Ten do? What does the ACC do? What does the Big 12 do? I mean,
well, okay, think about it. Do you have in that world an SEC national champion and then everybody else is national champion? Does a network go for that?
I mean, if you're ESPN, you kind of got to, because you're in $1 billion TV deal with the SEC right now for at least the next, is this the third year of a 10-year deal or the second year?
I think it's the third year.
Yeah. So, I mean, if this thing does happen, it's going to happen within that time frame. So if you're ESPN, I mean, is there a clause in the contract somewhere to where, you know, if you got to be a part of the NCAA for this thing to still be viable?
Probably not.
I don't think they would have thought about that when they made this thing 3 years ago.
Okay, 4:00 hour. Can't wait to talk to author Jay Grider. I wonder what Rick Region would think. Then man on the street, then your phone calls. We are having a ton of fun here at the Ford Ice Center, which has got a hell of a tournament going on. A lot of folks are here. We're ready to talk more on the George Plaster Show.
The director is back. Hello again, everybody. It's the George Plaster Show. Hope you'll join me, Kelly Holcomb, and Billy Derrick Monday through Friday on 94.9 The Fan from 3 to 5 p.m. Talk sports with the Plaz. The George Plaster Show. Weekday afternoons at 3 on 94.9 The Fan and the Game Nashville Sports Network. This is a Game Nashville Sports Network weather update.
Here is your latest Middle Tennessee weather. Clouds continue with a low near 69 and a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Saturday brings likely storms, a high near 88, and south wind near 5 miles per hour. Rain chances continue into Saturday, with fog possible. Sunday is mostly sunny, with a high near 93. From the Game Nashville Sports Network, I'm Selma Bouvier.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
The Electronic Express outlet store in Madison is now open. Save up to 80% on brand name HD TVs and appliances, mattresses, furniture, and more. Like this Roku 50-inch smart 4K TV for just $169, or a Frigidaire 26.8 cubic foot fridge only $9.99. Plus, find huge savings on laundry, furniture, mattresses, and more with flexible financing and no credit check. But hurry, quantities are limited and it's first come, first served. Shop the Electronic Express outlet store in Madison today.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. My friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville have amazing special deals right now, and they're just in time to replace those old drafty windows. I endorse Pella because they are the highest quality windows and doors, the most trusted brand, and they improve the value of your home over all the others. So go with the experts at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Visit PellaNashville.com for more information.
I'm Emmitt Smith. Pro football and fatherhood have taught me you need the right equipment for what life throws your way, including an opioid emergency. I've lost teammates and loved ones to opioid poisoning. It's the leading cause of accidental death in the U.S. But now I have the power to save a life, and so do you. Lay, spray, stay. 3 words to help save someone in need. Lay the person on their back. Use Narcan nasal spray as directed to reverse the effects of an opioid emergency. Dial 911 and stay with them until emergency help arrives. Continue to administer additional doses as needed. An opioid poisoning can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime. So learn the signs and symptoms of an opioid emergency and always be ready to rescue. Learn more at readytorescue.com.
This message brought to you by The Game Nashville and Cromwell Media.
You enjoy the thrill of gambling, but what happens when it becomes a problem? Whether you want to cut back or quit gambling altogether, the Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling for over 2 decades. We're here to help, not to judge. The Gambling Clinic is a Tennessee-based clinic offering in-person and telehealth support to help people win back their life. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Brought to you by the Gambling Clinic, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
In case you missed Robbie and Rex Road.
You're going to get into the season, and there could be a couple more moves that get made, but I don't think they're trading Roman Yossi between now and the time training camp starts. And I would say you see how the season goes, and this is with Yossi, but I think it's with a lot of the guys on their team. Like I would throw O'Reilly into this category. I would throw Stamkos into this category. You see how the season goes, and if it becomes clear along the way that you're going to be a team that is basically what they've been, which is probably right on the playoff bubble, either maybe you barely make it in or you barely miss out, then I think you leave yourself open to everything if you're Chris McFarland at that point. And again, like the big driving part of all of this is Yossi himself, right?
Wake up with Robbie and Rex Road. Weekday mornings at 6. Your sports live here on 102.5 The Game.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
35 years of the best sports talk in Nashville. It's the George Plaster Show with Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame quarterback Kelly Holcomb and young gun Lewis Maddox. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
As always, George Plaster Show kicking things off in hour number 2 with the Apple Collision Center's stat of the day. No Kelly Holcomb today, but George, are you ready?
Of course I'm ready.
If I get this, and I think I'm going to, 4 out of 5 on the week.
Well, yeah, when you see the answer ahead of time.
I don't see the answer ahead of time.
I think you do.
I go to great lengths to not look at it.
I don't know.
Whatever. Which team has LeBron James faced the most in the NBA Finals?
Well, let's think about that. Cleveland. He played Golden State. In Miami. What am I missing here?
Any day.
Golden State. Yeah, the show ends at 5.
Yeah.
Golden State.
I'm going Golden State too.
Okay, I don't think it is.
It is.
Oh, it is. Thank goodness.
2015, 16, 17, 18. Lost 3 of them, won 1 in 2016. That was the 3-1 comeback with the Cavaliers.
Wow. And now he is a Philadelphia 76er, 2-year deal with a possible 3rd year, which makes me think that what my buddy Tyron from Brentwood said a while back, he's trying to be the basketball Tom Brady. You know what? May be true. Okay.
Cruz is in the studio, and he just sent in the private chat. Does the Goon Squad from Space Jam 2 count?
No.
That was a terrible movie, man.
Yeah.
One of the worst sequels of all time.
Okay, we're now officially into the 4 o'clock hour. From our digs at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue, this is going to be fun. Jay Grider, for decades, has been part of the Nashville Sports Council, and behind the scenes, this guy has flat out seen it all. He has written a book entitled Last Call: From the Minor Leagues to Nashville's Rise as a Major Sports Destination. We welcome Jay Grider to our microphones. All I could think of last night was, man, I wish I could call Rick and tell him Grider's written a book.
417-9804. You know that number, George.
Oh my God. At Rick's funeral, I had been asked to do the eulogy, and Suzanne told me, keep it upbeat. And so, Jay, I asked the question, how many of you have ever gotten a phone call from him, and he doesn't give the phone number once, but he gives it twice? And I looked and I saw people laughing and going.
Every time.
You know, I'll say this. We'll never forget that phone number, will we?
That is true. No, sir. That is 100% true.
And he was a big part of all this stuff that you have ultimately written a book about. What made you decide to do it?
It's a good question. Forever, Scott Ramsey and I had always talked about writing a book. And the idea was going to be really more anecdotal in nature, of obviously working together for almost 30 years now, having gone through every single bowl game. And when the Sports Council obviously first started in 92, I came on board in late 97. So a lot of things have taken place over those years. So it was always, we need to write a book. We need to write a book. And then the longer our careers continued to progress, the more serious I got about it. So I really started planning some ideas in my head. And then whenever the commissioner, Goodell, announced the Super Bowl, I said, okay, it's time. I was able to essentially put together 28 years of Sports Council memories that I kind of had in my head anyway. And I put it all on paper in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
But again, it was 30 years or 28 years worth of information that I had gathered in my head. And obviously it was stories that we've talked about a million times, things that have happened to, all over the years that we always joked and talked about. But that was the catalyst to get me to do it. So once that announcement hit, I texted Scott and I said, I'm going to do it. And he was like, yeah, okay. Well, 280 pages later, 64,000 words later, it's done.
Sheesh.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so let me ask about a couple, maybe 3 stories that I think might be in there. The sleet storm before the opening Music City Bowl at Vanderbilt Stadium, I think it was 98, but I can't swear to that.
You are correct, sir. That is one of the funniest stories. Yes. I dressed that day like everybody else did. It was a T-shirt. It was a light pullover, and that's all we thought we needed until Mother Nature decided to throw us a curveball. And then all of a sudden the rain and the sleet came, and it wound up being, and I actually looked this up, George, whenever I was writing, the temperature went to 14 degrees that day. That is the coldest to this day that I've ever been in my life. But obviously the weather was one big challenge. If you recall, the second challenge was the lights at the stadium. Half the lights would not turn on. And we are in warm-ups and we're trying to get those stadium lights on. Scott Ramsey is being yelled at by ESPN production in the truck. They're going to pull the plug. Both teams are trying to warm up, but half the stadium's dark. And the gate that holds the giant transformer is locked and nobody has any keys. And Larry Swoops, love the man to death, was such a great help to me. Was eating lunch that day and was really taking his time eating the barbecue sandwich while we were trying to get the gate open. Wound up having to get bolt cutters. And then once they opened the transformer box, they all kind of looked like I had no idea what to do. So the guy got some gloves on and started messing around with it. And he had the Fonzarelli touch, is what I put in there. And all of a sudden the lights came on. And then if you recall, Larry Carlton, the great guitarist, was our national anthem performer and unfortunately got lost at the beginning of the anthem, and the crowd began to boo. And then fortunately they started to sing and kind of took over the boos. And then by the end of that, we were like, oh my gosh, are we going to do this again? Are they going to let us do this again? But that's one of my favorite stories as part of the book.
Here's a weird one. I'm hopscotching around here, so bear with me. On the Wednesday night that COVID becomes, okay, there's something serious here. At halftime of game 2 on Wednesday night, the announcement is made, we'll continue the tournament, but nobody will be allowed in tomorrow. And the Kentucky people went nuts. And then on Thursday, the whole thing blows up. What was that like?
It was crazy. We all came in Thursday morning, assuming there was going to be a game. And then obviously Commissioner Sankey said no, after talking, I guess, with the NCAA and a bunch of different conferences, and they decided they're going to shut it down. So the directive was, okay, the tournament is now over, and we were all told to go home, and we would report back to work on Monday. So this was, late afternoon. So I decided, my wife and I live in the Gulch. So I decided to go to Bar Louie, just because I knew I wasn't having to work the next day, and I didn't have to go back in until Monday. And I was a regular there, and there's always, at that point in the Gulch, Bar Louie was the most popular place to go. And everybody at Bar Louie knew each other. It was kind of like Cheers. And I go in the afternoon, and there's a guy sitting there that's one of the regulars. There wasn't a whole lot of people there because it was early in the afternoon. And he always sits in the same spot, and he always drinks wine. And he works for Vanderbilt Medical, and he's very high up. But I don't know exactly what he does. So I go up to him and I go, hey, what do you think's going on? And he goes, well, I just got out of a meeting. And there were several very high-ranking government officials in this meeting. And what we are about to go through is something that we have never in the United States or this world ever experienced in our lives. And I'm kind of taken aback. I don't know this gentleman. I know he's a regular at Bar Louie. I know he works for Vanderbilt Medical. I'm kind of speechless, and he's dead serious. And he goes, "I'm not kidding. I wish I was." And that kind of scared me a little bit. So I decided I was just going to go home. And once I got home, I called Scott and I said, "Hey, take this for what it's worth. We're supposed to be in on Monday, but what this guy says, I'm not sure that's going to be the case." And then lo and behold, he was dead right. And the world changed.
What is the event? Because I've got one in the back of my mind where I kind of said, dang, if we can do this, we can do the greatest of great sporting events. What was it for you?
I think really SEC basketball, that started the ball rolling, to be honest with you. 2001 was the first year that we did it at the arena. Then we had it in 2006 Then we had it in 10. That was Calipari's first year. And then, of course, we had it in 13 and then 15 all the way through where we are now. But I would say that was the catalyst because with our bowl relationship with the Southeastern Conference, we were able to build that relationship, and bringing the SEC in on a consistent basis was really good. From a football perspective, I think it was 2014 when we had LSU and Notre Dame. That was the first time we had two brands that were household brands. Now we've had Bama, we always had one, but we've never had really two. And that changed our trajectory from a mid-tier bowl to, obviously we're not a CFP bowl, but a higher tiered bowl. And at the same time too, George, I think that's right when Nashville started to ascend as well from the Broadway perspective. Now Broadway, obviously when we first started in 98, it was what it was. And then, Mayor Bresson at that point had already started the process, but it hadn't reached its peak. But in 14, we were starting to roll, not what we are now, but we were on a really high ascension. And I think the sports community, along with the city itself and the Broadway and the downtown area, kind of at the same time too complemented each other. And I think that's when it really started as a whole, would be, in my opinion, 2014. That was the same year we did the Women's Final Four as well.
Oh, wow. There are so many memories. Jay Grider has been with the Nashville Sports Council, was with the Sports Council for over 30 years. And to say he's seen it all is an understatement. I'm going to give out the name of the book. Lewis, bear with me here for about 10 seconds as I use my vast phone skills, which suddenly have gone haywire on me. The name of the book is Last Call: From the Minor Leagues to Nashville's Rise as a Major Sports Destination. Now, Jay, Lewis has no clue, because he's 22 years old, about a gymnastics event that opened the arena in the mid-90s.
I was figure skating.
Figure skating, that's right.
Opened Bridgestone?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first sporting event.
And Willie and I did a remote from there. And I remember looking at the arena because they really had not painted it much. And it was a lot of gray, drab concrete. And I was like, they got to paint this sucker some. But anyway, talk to Jay.
Oh, me too. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So, Jay, I kind of want to stay on Music City Bowl for just a second.
Sure.
Like NIL has been something that's probably changed your life along with everybody else's. I mean, so we talked to Epps, David Epps, the CEO of the Peach Bowl before, and their kickoff game between Baylor and Auburn, there's going to be like a built-in NIL value thing that's going to, go towards the players that's built into that game. And I imagine that that's going to start happening a whole lot. Is that something that y'all have thought about?
Yeah. Yes. We actually have, we've got a volleyball doubleheader Labor Day weekend. I don't know if you all have seen that, but we've kind of doing something that we've never done before. And I promise I'll get back to the NIL. But we've got on September 6th, we've got a doubleheader at Bridgestone Arena with volleyball. And then we've got the Ole Miss Louisville game at Nissan Stadium at 6:30 that same night. Having said that, though, as part of the volleyball matches that we've got, part of that fee, I think that we negotiated with the respective teams, some of that is allocated toward NIL. It's up to them on how they want to do it. We had a set fee that we were going to pay or have to pay, but I believe as part of those negotiations, part of that money is going to go towards NIL. When it comes to the football game that we're doing in September, I don't know the particulars on that. I would assume some of the revenue that each team would receive as far as their payout, I'm sure part of that would be dedicated to it. As it relates to the bowl on an annual basis, up until now, when it comes to the NIL, we've not really been a part of it other than, hey, if we wanted to get a quarterback to do a video, a shout out, or some sort of social media post, there was essentially a menu of players and what their rates would be if we wanted to use them. But to be honest with you, we didn't really do a whole lot of that. I haven't done it to this day, pretty much.
Gotcha. And obviously we got a Super Bowl coming in 31. So can you talk about that a little bit? And I'm kind of sitting here wondering, okay, that probably flipped a switch in a lot of people's minds. Like, how aggressively does that make us start going after things like a Final Four or a CFP playoff game or the Olympics? That popped in my head.
Yeah, really good questions. Obviously, once we knew we were going to get the stadium, that kind of changed the ability to go after these events. Obviously, the CFP, Men's Final Four, WrestleMania, Super Bowl, those are the top four that we had always talked about going after. And obviously, we've been successful in the Super Bowl. To be honest with you, as it relates to the CFP, we actually did bid on that a few years back. And we're actually in Houston for that championship game as a future city had been invited, Sports Council along with the CVC. And then for some reason, still don't know the answer to the question, but they changed their mind and they decided that in order for us to be able to bid on it, the stadium would have to be completely done. Not ground broken, not halfway through, not three-quarters through, but completely done. So having said that, we have to wait until the stadium is completely done, and then we have to wait until the next time the CFP is up for bid.
Can you take us through that a little bit? Like, I mean, what goes into a city bidding for something like that?
Yeah, it's a matter of essentially putting together a bid. There's a bid document that's hundreds of pages, and it's money driven, to be honest with you. But you've obviously got to be able to offer a facility that in terms that they want it, from signage to no cost to them, the amount of money that's got to be paid. Back if you recall back in, I believe it was 2023, George, when Mayor Cooper decreed that Butch and the CVC moving forward would be the lead on any large-scale event at Nissan Stadium moving forward. And with that, they built a committee, and their sole job is to fundraise for these large-scale events. These events probably cost anywhere from $15 million to $50 million to put on, because a lot of these things you're going to have to provide everything for free. Obviously, we've got to pay for it in some form or fashion. And in this host committee that was built under the CVC umbrella, it was really dedicated and is dedicated to fundraise. And that was the team that led to get to the Super Bowl bid and the winning of that particular bid. That same group would be the ones that would fundraise to get the money for the CFP. Now, when it comes to building that bid, the CVC would build it. Now, the Sports Council has helped in the past, and I would assume that the Sports Council again will help. When it comes to building a bid, a lot of it is putting together projected budgets. It's gathering of all the information, because part of a bid, there are a bunch of different requirements, whether it's facility driven, city services driven, volunteer driven. There's so many different areas to a bid. And it's essentially you're baking a cake and you've got all these different ingredients. You got to put it together to get the cake made. But we've already gone after CFP, but now we know we have to wait for the facility to be done. I foresee I think we'll have the CFP coming. Probably going to be in 30 or 31 would be my guess. When it comes to the Final Four, same kind of thing. The facility will be built, obviously, by the next time that we bid on that. That round of bids or those games that are available to be bid on are going to be in the 2032 to 2036 range, I believe. So we're going to have to wait until those years for them to actually happen. Now, we'll probably wind up bidding on them 27, 28, give or take.
Jay, we just got put that up there for everybody to see. Put George down.
Yes. He's got it, I'm sure.
Is there a Rick Region story in the book?
There would need to be a whole chapter.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one so that if you ever add to this.
Yes.
So as you know, in the Music City Bowl, you all have gotten a lot of kids involved in ceremonies on the field before the game. You know where I'm going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 3,000
Okay.
herding cats. I got you.
So when he was alive, Rick Region was part of a group that would deal with those kids. And to be honest, that wasn't Rick's favorite deal. Those kids
They didn't
could
like
get
him either.
No, they didn't. So Chris Casasanta, one of Rick's dear friends, tells the story that at one of the games, they're practicing earlier in the day, and Chris goes, on the count of 3, I want all of you to make as much noise as you can. 1, 2, 3. Boom. And Rick goes crazy trying to shut him up.
God rest his soul. Such a great man. But yes, he was one of those kind of guys. If you did not know him, you would be taken aback by him, and especially if you were a little kid, you would be scared to death of him just because of his voice and the way it boomed and his tone. Even though the tone sounded malicious, it wasn't.
No, nicknamed America's Guest.
America's Guest.
Go ahead, Lewis. You got one more.
Yeah, I've got one more for you, Jay. I mean, just through the process of putting the thoughts on paper to write this book, did you have any perspective changes of stuff that you had in your mind throughout your time that when you really started to think about it again for the first time in a long time was not the way that you have thought about it for the past 30 years?
No, nothing comes to mind. Being an event person and being an operations person, kind of an anal person that way. So there's a lot of lists. And when it came down to writing the book, I kind of had a defined, hey, here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to start to finish. But as far as any memories or did anything change? I think I've grown older. I will say this. Things that made me upset at the time, I can laugh at now.
Yeah.
You have time for a perfect example?
The sleet store.
That one, yeah, but no, the one that comes to mind is I got engaged to my wife, and we didn't share it with a lot of people yet because it was still new. Well, Scott Ramsey and Gary Alexander stole a picture out of my office, and we were doing the UT versus Wyoming football game in 2002. It was a Wyoming home game, by the way, not a UT home game.
Sure it was.
But anyway, they took the picture and they had it up on the Jumbotron. And I'm standing at the tunnel, the Titans tunnel, and I'm kind of watching the game. And I noticed there's a guy with a handheld camera standing next to me. And then all of a sudden I hear over the PA, we would like to congratulate Jay and Victoria on their engagement. And I turn up, and our picture is on the Jumbotron.
No way.
And the camera guy goes, boom. And I'm like this. And I'm not one that likes surprises like that. I joke my father used to scar us kids when they would, take us out and we'd sing happy birthday to us from the wait staff. I hated that crap.
I hate it too.
I was not real happy. So I immediately picked up the walkie-talkie and I said, Gary, you better be glad you're up in that booth and not down here. So that I was very upset at the time, but I can laugh at that now.
I love it. Where can people get the book?
Amazon. It is available on Amazon, paperback, and also on Kindle. As far as audiobooks, it's in the process of being recorded. So hopefully the audio version will be out soon. Hard copy, I think, will be out hopefully early next week. But you can get a Kindle right now, and then you could obviously order a paperback right now. It'll come to you in a couple of days.
The name of the book is Last Call: From the Minor Leagues to Nashville's Rise as a Major Sports Destination. Author Jay Grider, thank you for coming on here.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Hey, we moved quick on this, didn't we?
Absolutely, baby.
Talk to you soon.
See you, buddy.
Jay.
Bye.
Oh, man, there are so many stories he could tell of all those years. Oh, my God. And I was trying to, okay, do I use this one? No, this one's better. There's so many over the years. And one of the cool things for me, I've gotten to share in a bunch of these. And as somebody who grew up here, that's been pretty cool for me.
Yeah.
Okay, after the break, we're going to open the phones, find out if there are 4 red-blooded Americans on a Friday.
Got me out on the street, too.
I know that. Hold on.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm looking for 4 red-blooded Americans who have something on their mind that they want to yap about in sports. The number is 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. First, it will be Man on the Street, then your phone calls on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Bowling Night.
You're listening to 94.9 The Fan.
Here we go, turn it up, let it start. From block to block, we snatching hearts and jacking marks. And the pump police can't fake it.
Whatever. We welcome all of you back on a Friday afternoon. A little cynicism there on my part. We will go to the phones in roughly 2.5 minutes. Man on the Street is basically this question: who's going to win the SEC football title?
George Plaster Show going around the Green Hills Mall asking people who's going to win the SEC championship. Let's go. So who do you think's winning the SEC championship this year, my man?
Shoot, man. I mean, I'm a huge Vols fan, but unfortunately, I think Georgia's coming out.
Okay. Why do you think Georgia?
Just they have the best roster, and I mean, Alabama chokes all the time, and honestly, I think they're just the most stacked, man. I think it's their year.
So even with Tennessee picking up a 5-star running back yesterday, you still don't think that puts them over the edge against Georgia?
Man, Tennessee is above average at everything, but we just can't come through.
LSU.
LSU?
To be honest, LSU.
Okay, so why do you guys think LSU is going to win this year?
Kane Liffin, and then like they really DBU this year, so I feel like it's gonna turn out right.
Hey, people just went to Kansas City, LSU. Did homework on that.
LSU all the way out. So who do you think is going to come out of the SEC this year and be the most successful team?
I'm kind of biased. I'm a Tennessee fan, but our quarterback situation is a little shaky. So I low-key like LSU with Sam Leavitt.
Yep.
Low-key like that. Yeah, I might say LSU.
So even with Tennessee picking up a 5-star running back yesterday, you still don't think that brings him over the edge?
Well, class of 2027, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love Tennessee. I just if our quarterback, Faison Brandon, if he can pick it up, then I think we can do something. I don't know if we're gonna get out there with George McIntyre, but I think Tennessee has a good shot. There's a chance for sure.
Alabama. Why do you think Alabama?
Because we're the best team in the SEC and the whole entire country.
Despite how the last season went, you think it's going to turn a new leaf this season with the new head coach?
Yes, sir.
So who do you think is going to win the SEC this year?
Miami.
Why are you thinking Miami?
Because Mally, game ain't based off sin.
So even after the disappointing loss last season, you think they're going to come back with a fresh start, new look on the season?
Yeah, it's only right.
Unbiased and unpopular opinion, Ole Miss will definitely win the SEC. 2 returning players and team coming off a good run in the playoffs. They have all the momentum in the world.
Okay, put the graphic back up there.
George Platt.
No, the graphic, the man on the. That's okay.
Well, here we go.
There it is. That's a good looking graphic.
I like that.
Now,
Miami's going to win the SEC.
Miami's not going to win the SEC for one big reason. They're not in the SEC.
Kane Liffin.
Kane Liffin.
That's the reason.
Let's go with Tony and Brentwood to get us going. Tony, how you doing today?
Doing well, guys. I've been enjoying this cooler weather. How about you?
Oh yeah, it's sunny and 60.
Not bad. Low 80s with low humidity isn't bad for late July.
You're right. We got to take it while we can get it.
So, guys, I was calling. The main reason I wanted to call, I didn't hear anything yesterday, but the signing of St. George is huge. But I was wondering why Man on the Street was asking about it for this season, since he won't be there till next season. Miami's not in the SEC, you know. So, but I think that's their biggest recruit. I mean, it's got to be since Trey Smith, right, on paper.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the highest. I don't know. I mean, they picked up Dave Sanders, and he was also a 5-star. Tristan Keys too. I don't know exactly where those guys ranked in their classes or what numbers they were, but all of them were 5 stars, and I don't know where Trey Smith ranked, but he was definitely a 5-star.
Oh, he was up there.
Yeah.
Tony, have you seen the young man play?
No, but I'm going to go see him this year at Innsworth, if at all possible. So, but I remember a couple weeks ago you had Oregon on, and he used these 3 names to compare him to, and that's all I needed to hear to make me want to go see him. He said Derrick Henry, Herschel Walker, and Bo Jackson. So
pretty good company.
Got me pretty excited. Yeah, I try to go see the big time names if I'm in the area. I missed out on Brandon Miller until he got to Alabama. I did see him in the SEC tournament that year, but didn't get to see him in high school. I did see Garland when he was in high school, so I like to get out there for those guys. But, you know, sometimes in high school it's just hard to tell how good they're going to be because they just overwhelm everybody at that level. But I hope he's as good as advertised. That could be a program-changing recruit.
And Tony, another comparison that Kelly said yesterday was that he reminded him build-wise a lot like Adrian Peterson, which I see a lot of.
Well, he might be the best of the bunch of the names I mentioned and you mentioned. I mean, Adrian Peterson he's one of probably the top 5 running backs of all time. So that wouldn't be bad either if he's as good as or same level as Adrian Peterson. But I used to follow recruiting really heavily, but now with the transfer portal, I'm like, why bother? You don't know if they're going to be there a year, 2 years, and it's not as I don't think it's as important the high school recruiting as it used to be. I think it's more about the portal. What do you guys think about that?
Well, you're right, but this one feels a little different just because so few kids now coming out of high school get this kind of hype. And I haven't seen him play, but I respect some of the people that I know that have seen him who just gush over him.
Oh, he's absolutely legit. But the thing is, yeah, you're right, Tony, that it is all about the portal now, but it's about the portal until you come across somebody like that. I mean, they can't even call this guy a 5-star. They say he's a 5-star plus. I don't even know what that means.
I think I'll compare it to like when I was growing up. I mean, the best GPA you could have was a 4.0 as far as I knew, and now people graduate with like a 4.75. So it's kind of like that, right? I mean, wouldn't you equate it to something like that?
Yeah, you could add all my semesters. It didn't get to that.
Hey, shoot, I just lost my mind. Sorry. So, George, I was talking to Matt Friege yesterday, a fellow Vandy alum just like you. You remember him, don't you?
Oh, I know him well.
Yeah. Guess what he was doing yesterday and today?
Coaching his son.
No, they were. His son's he's not playing anymore at AAU because football just started, so he's done for the summer. But Matt was playing. He told me he was going to play yesterday and today at Vandy. Like for some reason, they were having alums come through there and play, and I thought that'd be pretty.
Oh my Lord! Oh yeah, this is.
That sounds like a.
Yeah, I think they're having one of those fantasy camp deals.
Yeah, but that sounds like a good potential for an injury. I hope he stays healthy. But what I was trying to think of earlier was when I was growing up, middle school, high school, Tennessee always had great running backs. I mean, the list is long, and I think the St. George kid is going to be in that echelon. He should start from day one. I mean, and I'm really excited to see him. Tennessee was top-notch, ruling the SEC along with Florida. They always had the stud running backs.
Hey, leave me with this. When do they play at Innsworth?
Well, you looked it up for me, or somebody over there at your station did, and I think they said it was like the last game of the season, late in the season.
I think it's week 10, so the second to last week.
Okay. Hey, I got to run, but you have a good weekend. Thank you.
You too.
Let me get to Eric in Nashville. By the way, that leaves a line open. Somebody take a leadership role at 615-759-9949. Leadership position. Eric, what do you got?
Hey, George, first of all, I didn't hear you mention this in the update. I didn't know if you knew about this. Did you hear about what happened to Tony Romo?
Yeah, okay. I saw that he got arrested. What actually was the reason for the arrest?
It was OWI. I'm assuming it was like operating while intoxicated or something like that, or under the influence. I'm assuming that's what it is. I don't know the whole story, but I just saw a crawler on the ESPN. I don't know the details behind it, but that's what I saw.
Yeah, whatever the case, it's not good.
No, it's not. And George, here's what I want to say to you. I was the one about a week or two ago that called you about the LeBron James thing, playing until he was 45.
Okay.
You remember the discussion? I said that he wanted to play in the NBA for like 24, 25 years. And I said it wouldn't surprise me if he kept playing, trying to see if he couldn't play as long as Tom Brady. I called that in and said that to you about a week or two ago.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You might be right. I don't know. I mean, LeBron and I don't talk on a regular basis.
Yeah. But you're right. but you're right. I don't think this team is a championship team. They might get to the finals, but they're not beating Oklahoma City or San Antonio without Joel Embiid. And I don't even know if they're beating Denver if they get to the finals. And George, it certainly helps their team, but yeah, he's got to step up big time. And I'm one of the few guys, like I said, I remember that ABC championship team with the starters of Mark Ivorone and Julius Erving, Moses Malone at center, Andrew Toney, and Maurice Cheeks, and off the bench had such colorful players as Earl Latrell Carrollton, Sedell Freed, Franklin Edwards, Clint Richardson, Clemon Johnson, Reggie Johnson, who used to play for University of
Yes.
was Bobby Jones, who was the best sixth man in the NBA at the time. So, I'm a true fan if I can remember all those guys.
Wow, that was in the old Spectrum days.
Yeah.
They're going to have,
and Dave Zinkoff, yeah.
But their season ticket sales rose huge today.
Well, hopefully now if they play the Knicks, New York Knicks fans won't overrun the stadium. But what's going to be an interesting dilemma, I agree with you, they're going to play on Christmas Day, but who do they play? Could it be the Celtics and Jaylen Brown playing against his former old team, LeBron James and the 76ers against the Lakers? Could that be a possible matchup? I got a feeling Oklahoma City and San Antonio would probably be one of the matchups, but it'd be interesting. Or it could be like him against Golden State or whatever. Or like it's just going to be interesting. You've got to play for matchups because Philadelphia now is going to be featured on TV quite a bit. George, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Take care. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
You have a good one. I would match him up with Miami since they put out the press conference.
I'm thinking Philadelphia at Los Angeles would be so interesting to see.
Wonder what the reaction is in Cleveland. I mean, this has to be some real disappointment, and I think you're going to get a lot of commentary in the next few days of how come it wasn't Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but if I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, I'm kind of sitting there telling myself, okay, yeah, it would have been cool if it had happened, but was he really going to come back here for a third time? Like, looking back on it, it could have happened, but
that's what I was rooting for. Let's go to John down in Jackson, Tennessee. John, what's shaking?
Hey, George, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Hope you are.
Well, I'm doing fantastic. I've really enjoyed this week of the shows, the SEC Media Day. I think it's been some great content. Really enjoyed the show today. But it's been a big day in the news of LeBron James choosing the Philadelphia 76ers. And I had two questions, and I want to begin with my first questions. Why do you think he picked the Philadelphia 76ers over a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who made it to the Eastern Conference last season, who are in my opinion, higher contention rate of making the finals because they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals already? If you could pick apart LeBron's mind, why don't you think he would have started with the Cleveland Cavaliers? And why do you think he decided to choose the 76ers when you see a guy like Joel Embiid, who is a injury liability?
Well, look, I've got nothing to base this on, but he and Dan Gilbert, the Cavs owner, have never been, exchanging Christmas cards. I don't know if something flared up again that LeBron said, screw it, I'm not coming back here. I don't know. No way to know.
Here's my thing, John, is that, okay, I think he wants a 5th championship under his belt, and I think that he saw this as the best opportunity to do so. I mean, that roster healthy is the best starting 5 in the NBA when they're healthy. You obviously got to look at Joel Embiid and know that he's, maybe good for 40 games a season out of the 82. But and also on top of that, I've been thinking about this. I think he thought, imagine the impact I could make on Philadelphia and how beloved he would be in Philadelphia if he went there and brought them a championship.
100%.
He'd be idolized.
That city would go into flames.
Yeah.
That would be very impactful for that city. My opinion is the Cleveland Cavaliers of James Harden, and I've been such a pessimistic person on James Harden the past couple of years. He's just not a playoff contributor whatsoever. And if you're pushing for a 5th championship, James Harden has been nowhere the past couple of years in the postseason. I wouldn't want to go play with him either. And
James Harden.
I mean, what were you saying, Lewis?
James Harden has been content with being mediocre for a decade. That's my take on it.
Exactly. He had his Rockets days, but after that, he's been bouncing around the league. And I think a big reason for that is because he puts up numbers. He's just a mediocre player. So I think that contributes a lot to LeBron's decision. But when you said the NBA is on a halt with setting up a calendar schedule, obviously because of Christmas Day games and opening week games,
right?
It also put a halt on free agency. So free agency could continue with signings and trades and stuff. Why do you think this has happened? Or why do you think this is the case? And is it just to say that LeBron is he's LeBron? He kind of can control what happens in the league, and it really comes down on his name and the decisions he makes.
I think the reason for that is that, well, first of all, I think Adam Silver, when he heard the news this morning, was probably pretty shocked that it was a multi-year deal and not a single-year deal, because I think his thought process was that if this is going to be LeBron James's career-ending tour, year-long tour around the NBA, I don't think he wanted to mess that up, and I think he understands how much of a pull LeBron James has, a much bigger one than the commissioner himself does. So I think that went into it a lot of, him just saying, this is a big deal, his farewell tour, and he wants to make sure that it's right.
Absolutely.
What he said today, and I haven't read all of it, was this is the last team I'm going to play for in the NBA. But he didn't say this is my last year, period.
He said this is my last decision.
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, John, I got to run. I appreciate it.
Thank you, George.
Let me go over to the Gulch. Dave, are you there?
How you doing, George?
I'm good. Hope you are.
You've been in the media a long time. Did you ever get a chance to see Pete Maravich play live?
As a little kid, I did. My dad took me, I want to say it's the second game I ever saw at Memorial Gym, and I got to see Pete Maravich. Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, he
dinosaur.
was amazing talent.
Oh. Now, he was a total ball hog, and it didn't hurt that he played for his dad, who let him be a ball hog. But if you look, they never won anything. They never came close to winning anything.
No, they sure did. Not even close. Does he still hold the record for all-time points?
He holds the male record. Caitlin Clark holds the overall record, for being technical.
Here's what's crazy. You would never even have to ask the question if the 3-point field goal was around. And remember, he only got to play for 3 years.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, he was in second place behind him.
You know what? Let's do this. We'll try to get you the answer after the commercial break. Is that fair?
Yes, sir. Thank you, George. I appreciate you.
I don't pretend. Thank you. I don't pretend to know the answer, but we will get it on the backside. The flip side, we'll have Plaster Bet of the Day. I know all of you breathlessly await that, because this week I have sucked. And then we'll tell you about a football Monday that's going to get your attention. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham, If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
With back pain, what would you do if the pain was gone?
At the Dr. Gill Center, we've helped thousands of people over the last 30 years break free from pain and get back to living life. We're committed to your outcomes, and our caring team listens, understands, and offers real solutions to neuropathy, back pain, and joint pain without unnecessary surgery or medication. Choose the clinic that listens. Choose the clinic that cares. Call the Dr. Gill Center today at 615-882-4838.
Let's make your pain-free life a reality.
Baseball is just like music. You don't believe me? Let me show you. It's jazz, improvised and unpredictable. It's rock. The crowd explodes like a guitar through a wall of amps. It's rap, fast, sharp, all rhythm and timing. It's country, nothing but 3 outs and the truth. Do you believe me now? Look, no matter what music you're into, the hottest track in town, Nashville sounds baseball. Welcome to Hit City.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a race and sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall.
Get ready, Clarksville. The Arena Football One postseason is officially coming home to F&M Bank Arena. Your Cats have secured the top seed and are locked in to hunt down the championship. High-stakes, fast-paced arena football playoff action. The number 1 seed Cats are taking on the competition, and they need you to throw your claws up and pack the stands. Don't miss the AF1 playoff game on Sunday, August 2nd at 3 p.m. Tickets are selling fast. Go to Ticketmaster.com or myfmbankarena.com to secure your seats today. Let's bring the crown to Clarksville.
You're listening to 94.9 The Fan.
Why are you laughing?
I love Cruz's music, man. I love it. You might hate it. I love it.
No, I mean, some of it's okay.
Did you like that one?
Yeah. Yeah. Some of it's a bunch
Shakira.
of junk.
Shakira.
Well, whatever. Okay. Let's start with, this has been a crappy week for Plaster Bet of the Day. We have lost 4 of the 5 games we have put out there. Oh, why don't you stuff it? Okay.
That's
I'm
terrible.
88-71, and that ain't all bad.
Oh, you're 1-4.
Well, this week I am. Got a nice suit on, though, don't I?
Yeah.
So
Never seen that one.
Yeah, here's where we're going. We're going to take the old Bravos tonight.
Old reliable, huh?
Why are they a road dog in Baltimore? What's Baltimore done?
That's a good question.
By the way, the Braves have very quietly gotten that lead back up to 4.5 on the Phillies. Phillies are having a few little pitching problems too.
They are.
Can you say Aaron Nola?
Can you say moving back out of the left lane and back into the rearview mirror?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just hold off. It's hard to know yet. Don't know where it's going. Okay. To end the week, let me tell you that the football will continue next week. On Monday, Eric Henry from Horns 24/7 will join us at 3:20. And then the very entertaining SEC Network announcer Chris Doring at 4:00. And then on Tuesday, we debut Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. It's back.
It's time.
It is time.
Hopefully not a disappointing time.
Hope all of you have a great weekend.
You want to tell them about the Instagram?
Well, why don't you tell them?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram now. We'll have a TikTok coming up here shortly as well. But for right now, a lot of our short form content that we've started to do, that will be a new home for that. So the handle for our Instagram is The George Plaster Show, all one word. Go give us a follow and check us out. That's it.
So as we leave you today, intern, Battleground Academy, Henry Sellers, it's his final day. He's a long snapper at BGA, and practice apparently takes precedent over this internship.
Yes.
I am absolutely shocked. But
so fair.
Yeah. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, I'm very excited this weekend. I hope your weekend is as fun as mine will be. I'm emceeing the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame ceremony tomorrow at my high school, BGA, in the Entrepreneurial Theater. Pete Weber, the late Mark Howard, the late Bill Cody will be inductees in the Middle Tennessee area. If you want to come, you can buy tickets at the door. Hope all of you have a great weekend. See ya.
Different.
Johnny Garrett's not some out-of-touch D.C. politician. Johnny Garrett's a Tennessean, a Christian conservative, and a proud father of three who's sick of the far left ruining our country with their radical policies. Conservative Johnny Garrett is proudly pro-life, pro-Trump to his core, and will always put America first. In Congress, Garrett will fight to lower taxes, cut government waste, and will always back the blue and support law and order. Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girl sports. No